But what you see here, I saw in Kendrick Nunn a long time ago, and so did many other NBA people. He is a phenomenal basketball player, and I'm happy to see that he's found joy. I think the word unicorn, you got to be really special. Giannis is special. Anthony Davis is special. LeBron is special. Steph Curry, those guys, all of those guys are really, really special. When you come to Europe, coaches still have power. They still can coach. They can control their team. I love that Europe, the coaches are still the king.
How is the trench work experience so far?
Man, this trench work experience has been really good. This is year 3. You know, me and Jonathan Hudson kind of really started this thing about 3 years ago, and every year we've gotten better. So, I mean, you look around, we're in this great arena. We got great sponsors, we got great athletes here. So year 3 has been good. You know, we look forward to continue building this whole project here in Greece.
Basketball information is now totally shared. You coaches are totally outspoken. How important is this for the development of basketball?
Well, look, I think the most important part of development is how we as coaches communicate. How do we teach? How do we communicate with the athletes? So everything that I really try to do now is not always just for the athletes. I want to try to help mentor coaches and help them become better communicators, better teachers, because we are the ones that really help the athletes, especially at a young age. Youth coaches are the most important coaches in the world. Not an NBA coach, not a EuroLeague coach, but youth coaches, because at a young age, they're usually the first coach that a young athlete sees. So there's 2 things that can happen. That coach can either inspire them to play or inspire them to not play. So for us, really coaching is really important from the point of how we communicate and how we teach.
You have spent time in Greece doing clinics. What's your impression of European talent and the basketball culture compared to the US?
Yeah, look, my whole career I played in Europe for 8 years. You know, I played a couple years, short time in the NBA, but I spent 8 years playing in Europe, so I understand basketball here. The team culture, team first culture, you know, I think that's the biggest difference. You know, in the States we focus a little bit more on the individual athlete, but I think the best combination is how do you focus on the individual athlete and help them fit into the team. So what I love about being here, all of these kids and these athletes that are here, they're very hungry. They want to get better. They want to be coached, and they want to understand, well, you know, what is an NBA level type training. So it's always good to be here to see some of these athletes. Some of these kids, I've seen them for 3 years. Some of them I've seen grow a little bit. So the energy and the passion that everyone has here is incredible.
You're widely respected for your work in player development. What do you focus on most when helping a player grow?
Well, first 2 things for me are always with any player. I want to see players improve their footwork and their balance. Those are the 2 things that I always try to focus on. The other thing for me, are you willing? Are you a willing student? Are you a willing athlete? Do you want to learn? So I really enjoy watching athletes get better. That's been my whole career. That brings a lot of joy to me to watch, whether it be a young kid or a pro athlete, helping them get better. That's the number 1 thing for me, and it's just been, it's one of those things where I get a lot of pleasure out of helping these athletes get better.
How does a coach adapt to the modern style of play in basketball?
Yeah, we have to be students of the game. You know, as coaches, the game is ever changing, right? Basketball is more positionless now than ever. So now big men are out shooting threes. There's not a lot of teams that post up anymore. So the modern style is a lot more pick and roll, 5 out, drive and kick, ball movement. That's just the way the game is. So we as coaches, we have to always continue to adapt to that and help our players understand how we have to play the game. So I love the challenge of continuing to grow as a coach every year.
You have worked with some of the greatest in NBA history, LeBron, Kóbī, Kawhi. In your experience, what qualities truly separate them, and are there any similarities or differences between them?
Different players, but they all have common denominators. Their work ethic is insane, incredible. No one is going to outwork them. Their commitment and their dedication is incredible. And then the last piece, for me, their basketball IQ. These guys are super intelligent. They study the game, they watch the game, they see the game, and they understand the game at a high level, whether it be defense, offense. They are very intelligent. And so you take that with their God-given talent, and then they're super smart, and they have work ethic. it's hard. It's hard to compete with those guys.
You also worked with Kendrick Nunn during your second stint with the Lakers. Was it a surprise for you to see him playing overseas?
Not at all. Listen, I remember when Kendrick Nunn became an NBA player when he was in Miami. We played against the Miami Heat in the NBA Finals in 2020 in the bubble. Kendrick Nunn was hurt. I was glad he was hurt. Really good player. The only thing for us when he came to the Lakers is injuries, right? Injuries are a very unfortunate part of sport. But what you see here, I saw in Kendrick Nunn a long time ago, and so did many other NBA people. He is a phenomenal basketball player, and I'm happy to see that he's found joy. He's come to Greece, he's come to Panathinaikos, and he loves playing the game, and it seems like the fans and the community and the organization has really accepted him here, and it's just good to see him be successful.
Despite his obvious desire to play here, do you think that he has a future in the NBA?
If he wants, it's his choice, right? I think Kendrick came to Greece, he saw how passionate, he saw the level of play, and then for me, I always talk about quality of life. I think he's living a good life here in Greece. Like you can't complain, good weather, it's a great, look at this arena, man, you have a great fan base, so I think that's up to him. You know, and if I was Kendrick, I don't know if I would leave Greece. I might stay here until the end of my career if I could.
You won the title as an assistant with the Cavs, with the Raptors and the Lakers. What it really takes to get that ring?
You know, it takes a lot of things. One, you have to have talent. Two, your team has to be healthy. Talent and health are most important. And then three, within the team camaraderie, great coaching staff, great players, everybody understands what their role is. Can you commit to doing your job? So me as a coach, as an assistant coach, what's my job? Do my job. The players, do your job. So when you get everybody that understands that it's not always about them, but whatever it takes to help the team win, all three of those championship teams were very selfless. The guys were very selfless and they gave to the team whatever it took to win.
Do you think that you were overlooked by the Lakers since your desire was to get that head coaching job last year?
You know, man, look, that's a loaded question. Am I ready to be a head coach? Absolutely. Now, look, obviously the Lakers, you know, they wanted to go in a different direction. I can't blame them for that. You know, that's their choice. So I don't look at it as me being overlooked. I just look at it as it's not my time yet. And so my time is coming.
Your new chapter is with the Mavericks, right? As a coach, heading into a new season, what's your mindset? I mean, during the off-season, is the individual player work or the team strategy?
Both. It's a combination. So again, this is a new team for me. We have a coaching staff where a lot of people are familiar with each other, but in the off-season, you try to figure out how do you help your players get better individually and how do we help them get better to fit into the team. So I'm excited about this new chapter. I think we have a championship caliber team in Dallas. Again, talent, now we got to stay healthy, and anything is possible.
Have you talked to AD?
I have. Spoke to AD by phone. You know, we talked on FaceTime. I've talked to Kyrie a lot. So, you know, I have a history with both of those guys. I've actually had a chance to talk to most of the players on the team. Great group of guys, man. I'm just excited to get back to work.
I guess everybody knows that in the United States, Cooper Flaγκ is the next great white hope, right? How big of a challenge is for you to work with him?
No challenge at all, man. Look, Cooper's a great young talent. You know, I think I haven't had a chance to spend a lot of time with him yet, but I'm looking forward to building a relationship with him and really kind of seeing where his ceiling is, which right now it doesn't seem that he has one. He has an unlimited potential. So I'm excited to see what kind of player he's going to turn into.
The top pick is usually playing in a team that is going through a rebuilding, right?
Right.
But is it going to be something different for him to play in a contender?
I think it helps because the level of our team, the players that he has, the veterans, they can help him mature. So sometimes when young players come into the league, they may come into the league and go to another young team, and they don't have a veteran that can teach them how to be a pro, teach them how to work, teach them the right habits. Cooper gets to come into a team where we got championship experience. You got Klay Thompson, you got Kyrie Irving, you got Anthony Davis. You have all these guys that have won championships, so they can help him understand what it takes to be a high-level pro.
Do you think that is there any type of unicorn right now in the NBA, like Giannis Antetokounmpo or something?
I think there's a bunch of unicorns. Anthony Davis is a unicorn when he's healthy. Like when Anthony Davis is healthy, he's a problem. But you know, I think the word unicorn, you got to be really special. Giannis is special. Anthony Davis is special. LeBron is special. Steph Curry, those guys, all of those guys are really, really special, and they're generational talent. So the next generational talent is going to be interesting to see where that player comes from.
Is it a challenge for an NBA coach to see the differences with Europe, that perhaps here there is more coaching intervention in the game? Am I right? Or?
Yeah, I think, look, in Europe, here's the NBA, it's a player-led league. The players run that league. They make the most money. They have a lot of power. When you come to Europe, coaches still have power. They still can coach. They can control their team. It's a little bit different in the NBA. The coaches still have power, but at the end of the day, the players are the ones that drive the brand. In Europe, it's still more about the purity of sport, right? Players here get paid well. They still have a lot of power, but it's just a little different scale. I love that Europe, the coaches are still the king. You get to control your team, you get to make decisions, and the players respect that. Not that they don't respect it in the NBA, I just think it's different because of how much money they make. It's a little bit different.
With your experience, do you prefer a great player who is a difficult character or personality, or a player that is more focused and with a bigger work ethic?
You know, I don't mind if you're a character with personality. I can handle that. My biggest thing is, are you willing to work? If you're not lazy and you got personality and you're a character, I don't care about that. Are you willing to work hard? That's the most important thing for me, because when we turn the lights on and we have to play, I want to know that you put in the work to where you can step on the floor and perform. So the character for me doesn't matter. You know, I coach the same anyway, so it doesn't matter. You can be a big character or you can be super quiet. I'm going to coach the same way.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys.